Today's chapter is My Greatest Olympic Prize. This is an autobiographical chapter written by Jesse Owens, one of the famous runners and jumpers in the history of Olympic. I just teach it for two types of students. Some students have actually heard it in the classroom taught by the teachers, and some students who have not heard it. Those who have not heard it, they may go directly to this particular chapter and try to frame as many questions as they can for each sentence. Let it be granted, it was the summer of 1936. One student can frame so many questions. What was the time? What was the season? Was it the summer of 1936? Three questions can be framed. If one student can frame maximum number of questions to get the answer, he can understand the total chapter. Those who do not go to this process, let them read fast. What is the chapter? Let us go to one section. It was the summer of 1936. The Olympic Games were being held in Berlin because Adolf Hitler childishly insisted that his performers were members of a master race. Nationalistic feelings were at an all-time high. This is the first paragraph. Try to understand. Jesse Owens remembers the Olympic of 1936 and the situation in Germany. Adolf Hitler, the famous autocrat, the famous dictator, was the ruler of the time. What happens? He had enthused his people with the idea that they belonged to a master race. So everybody was charged with the nationalistic feeling that they were of a superior race. But before going to understand it, someone should understand he is to appear one exam. So don't try to read first. First read the questions, internalize the meaning, understand the meaning. I mean to say, if someone has crossed the road, I ask you one question: what color was his shirt? You may just baffle. But if I ask you, one person will go through the road, please mark what color is his shirt. You can mark it well. So just go to the question, you can understand it. And what is the question? Why were nationalistic feelings running high in the 1936 Summer Olympics in Berlin? Now go to the paragraph, you can understand the nationalistic feeling was high only because of the leader, Adolf Hitler, the dictator. Because of his nature and his mindset and the way he charged his people, his players, this particular feeling was running high in their blood. And now Jesse Owens comes to the next paragraph with an all autobiographical remembrance of his childhood, of his youth. I was not too worried about all this. He was not at all worried of the temperament of the Germans and the game being played in Germany. I had trained, sweated and disciplined myself for 6 years with the games in mind. Why was he not worried? Because he had trained himself, sweated for the cause and disciplined himself that he would join the Olympic Games. And trained himself not for a day, not for 2 days, not for a year, but for 6 years with the aim that he would go there, he would join the Olympics and would get a medal. And while I was going over on a boat, all I could think about was taking home 1 or 2 of those gold medals. He had the mindset, he had the determination that he would get either 1 or 2 gold medals, one for running, the other for long jump. Yes, why? Because the previous year he jumped some 26 feet, 8 inches and 1/4 in a university competition, in a university athletic meet. So this was beyond the world record. So he was very sure that he would get 1 gold medal. And a year before, as a university student, I had set the world record of 26 feet 8 inches and 1/4. Everyone kind of expected me to win the Olympic events hands down. Everybody thought that without any great trial, without any great endeavor, without any exertion, without any very, very hard labor, Jesse Owens would get a gold medal. And he had the hope too. I was in for a surprise. When the time came for the long jump trials, I was startled to see a tall boy hitting the pit at almost 26 feet on his practice lips. And when he was there to start to jump, and particularly in the trials, he found a tall boy standing there whose name was not published, whose name was not known to others, and he was a Germanese boy whose name was Lars Long. I was told that Hitler had kept him under wraps, and people told him that Hitler had kept him hidden to win the gold medal in long jump. And yes, I suppose that if long gone, it would add some support to the Nazis. He was really thought if Lars won, then Hitler's words would prove true. And nobody was actually caring for this particular boy because he was a Negro. He turned hot under his collar. He felt he should win. So he got more determination added to his mind when he thought of winning over a Germanist. Now come to the questions. And just while going to the questions, mark the tense, mark the pattern, and then go to the paragraph and write on your own words. Never copy the section from the paragraph directly. Thank you.